Here's a short demonstration of how to draw a scatter plot in Excel. This is a 2019 Office 365 version 16.29.1, but other versions are very similar. I've already opened a new spreadsheet, you can see here, and I'm going to draw a graph that shows the relationship between heartbeats per minute and age. So I need two columns. So to do this, I'll double click on this column in the top, in this cell in the top left here. And the first column I'm going to label is age. I've chosen this to go in the first column because Excel uses this first column to plot the x-axis. And in cases when one set of data is fixed, often called the independent variable, we use this on the x-axis. This second column will be heartbeats. This is the dependent variable, in this case heartbeats per minute, and this goes in the second column because this will be the y-axis. So to enter the data, just double click on the first cell underneath the age in this case and start entering the data. So the first person is 18 years old. And I would just double click on this one, enter the next age, this one, the next age, this one, and so forth, until this whole column is full. I will then go over to the heartbeats and enter the heartbeats for each that have been recorded for each of these people and complete this full column. Once all the data has been entered in both columns, you can highlight the data by clicking on the top left cell here. Note I haven't clicked on the headings. Just click on the top left cell, keeping the click held down, drag it down to the bottom right cell. This will highlight all the data that we want to make the graph with. Now to make the graph, we go up to the tab here, Insert, and just click on Insert. What this does is open up a number of options that we can do different things with the data. What we want to do is draw a graph. We want to draw a scatter plot, and that option is here. So click on this. It gives us a number of different types of scatter plot that we can draw. I'm going to select this one. And there you go. It's drawn our graph. You can see that it hasn't given us a title, and we don't have an X and a Y axis. So the first thing we can do is put the title in here. So I just click on this and enter the title. And this is heart rate in people of different ages. That would be a reasonable title for this. And then just click on somewhere in the graph. Now what we want to do is add the x-axis. To do this, we go to the top left here and click on Add Chart Element. And here there are a number of options. We want to add the titles to the axis. And the title we want is the primary horizontal, that's the x-axis. Click on this and it gives us a box in which we can write here. And this is the x-axis, so we know the x-axis is age. And we need some units, and the units are years. Okay, so click somewhere else on the graph. Go on to Add Chart Element again, onto the titles of the axes, and we now want the vertical or y-axis. This is a little trickier to highlight because it's vertical, but we can do it. And the y-axis is heart rate, and that's in beats per minute. Okay, so each axis has a title and units. Quite happy with that. The next thing we need to do is add a trend line. So if we go up to Chart Element again, and we can go to Trend Line, and there are different types of trend line that we can select. We're going to select linear. And there you go. It's put a trend line through our data. However, you can see it's dotted. In order to change the type of trend line, go back up to this icon here, go to trend line and go to more trend line options. And you can see it gives us a number of ways of formatting the trend line. If you click on this icon here, what we can do is select the different type of line. You can see it's given us a dash type. We want it to be a solid line. We now have a solid line. So there's our trend line. Let's close that. The only other thing that remains to do really is to tidy this up a little. So if we go back up to add chart element, we can remove the grid lines if that's what you would choose, but I prefer to see the graphs without the grid lines. We can go here, I've removed the horizontal, now I'm removing the vertical. Now we've got a graph that looks reasonable. We can also change how this looks by grabbing the bottom right and moving it around. Perfectly okay. So what looks the most presentable? That looks reasonable. Now just right click on this, copy, and it's ready to paste directly into your Word document. And that concludes this brief demonstration.